Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. Hope you guys are doing well, and we've got a matchup against my man playing Kalgara right here. Now, I won't lie to you, I don't know too much about Kalgara. I've played all of maybe 3 games as, you know, the player of the deck, and I've played all of maybe 4 or 5 games against Kalgara. So I have a base understanding of what the deck is trying to do, but I also just don't fully get exactly like what the deck is shooting for on certain turns. But it's a super interesting deck. It seems like it does, need to high roll quite a bit in order to see the, the cards that it's really looking for and the pressure that it's looking for. But my opponent is going to play out a wiper here on turn 3, swinging 6. Just establishes a 7k body, which is pretty terrifying, but lucky for us, we have drawn all the removal in the game, basically, so we're looking pretty good. I do decide to take this 6. That's a little risky. Kalgara is a deck that likes to be very aggressive. Unfortunately, I have not drawn a 2k until this exact moment. We finally do draw the Tashigi, so I wasn't really willing to drop a bunch of 1ks that felt pretty necessary for this situation. I do have options here. Unfortunately, with not having put a 2k into, my trash, I don't have the ability to play my Rebecca comfortably. I could have swung 5 with Kuzan, swung 5 with Kuzan, then played Rebecca, picked back up that 2k, and then played out Brook to KO that, giving me kind of like a pseudo blocker, but also, a bit of a, bit of recurrence of defense and getting a 2k back. But my opponent is going to throw down the upper yard, gets to search out a top 5 card. Thankfully, I got rid of the wiper, and he's not at 2 life yet, so I'm only looking at a couple of 5k swings more than likely. I can just block out of this, or excuse me, counter out of this with a blocker. And now we might just see, a 6k swing, and he's going to use the leader effect to bring out the 6k, or it should be 6 cost Kalgara. This card is pretty terrifying for me to deal with, but luckily for us, we do have Jack for the following turn. He is going to play down another upper yard and get Shura, and then get to place Shura again and, do another search. So he's really just looking. But I feel like the tough part about the Kalgara deck is that Mont Blanc, if I'm not mistaken, is just not like... It's not searchable. It feels like you have to luckily draw into it quite a bit, which is, I don't know. It makes it a lot more inconsistent than I'd like it to be. And I'm not a huge fan of that personally, but he is going to get out of the 5k swing into Ohm. I'm going to give him a 6k as well. He counters out of this. I get to attach 1 to lead and play Jack, which is great, so I can get rid of his 6 cost and hopefully get rid of his wiper, or excuse me, not wiper, Ohm as well. So now I'm swinging 7 into it. Excuse me. I've got, that was a great turn for us. We established Jack. We got a couple of things off the board. I did pick up a 2k off the cycle as well. I've got my 8-cost Rush Luffy, which I'm, gloating and showing to the camera, ready for some funny business the following turn. Might even be able to go for game the following turn, depending on what my opponent's got in hand. But I believe he's still at 3 life right now. So at 3, it does make it a little less consistent trying to go for life, but he just does a massive swing here into Jack. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to let it go. And I did drop... I did drop my... why am I forgetting the name of it? I did drop my Sanji, which would have been really nice in dealing with this Kalgara the following turn. And I did point out, like right here, that I thought my leader was 6k, but I'm actually not because I don't have Jack. I do believe that we end up realizing that afterwards. So I tell my opponent, I just realized, like, in this exact moment, I am actually not a 6K because I don't have Jack on the board. So I put one card to the side and act as though I don't have, I believe it was the Brook that I drew into. Yeah, I put that card to the side and countered out of the 5K swing. Just didn't want to feel like I was cheating my opponent there. It was just a bit of an honest mistake. You know, just having the dice on there makes me kind of think, oh yeah, I got it. It's there, yay. But now I still have this Kalgara to deal with. I can bring it down to a 2 cost. But Brook doesn't exactly get there. I don't have my Suru in trash, because if I did, I would be able to play Moria pretty safely here and feel good about my position. But my opponent's only got like 2 cards in hand, so I know I still have a pretty good opportunity to remove as much off the board as possible. It just sucks that I kind of have to drop an Ice Age for this. So not exactly the play that I wanted to do, but it works out either way. I am going to attach 1 to lead. Oh, and I do choose to just play out Moria. Okay, interesting. So I guess I wasn't really sweating. Yeah, I guess I just wasn't sweating the Kalgara. I didn't really care too much about this. I just wanted to pick up Jack and then swing 7. He thought that I was going to go for the removal, but I guess I decided against it and just play out Moria, bring my leader up to 6K power, and now I'm just going to pass the turn. I feel really good, though. My opponent's only got one life. I have Moria to swing the following turn, Sanji 3 life to, you know, to defend myself. Yeah, we're looking solid. I've been able to remove all of the annoying pieces per turn. I know that Jack is just really bad for him in this matchup, and being able to pick it up from trash off of Rebecca is just massive. Granted, I don't think that we needed it. It felt like super unnecessary. I think we could have just picked up the 2K Tashigi and just called it a day. That way we could defend our life, defend our board a bit better. Yeah, no Mont Blanc, though, from my opponent yet to heal, which is pretty unfortunate for him. I think it's like, it's just so crucial to see that card for Kalgara. And he is going to swing 9 here, though, and take out the Kuzan, and now just take a big, 7K swing into Brook. Gotta let it go. I finally see the Suru, a little too late, but it's not that it really matters all that much. I'm just going to swing 9 into life. He gives me 3 2Ks and a 1K. And then we pick it up and clean out the first match. Felt good, but also felt like I maybe could have played a couple of those turns a little bit tighter. I still think that Kalgara is just it's like you have to see an absolutely insane curve in order for that deck to be, you know, incredible, because otherwise it's just not getting there. But there are some pretty interesting builds that I've seen for it. You know, most of them obviously are just running the Sky Island and Shandorian Warrior package, but I do think that there is like a world where, you know, you could find yellow building very similar to how a lot of mono black decks have built in the past, which is like a combination of Navy and CP or stuff like that. So you would have like Shandorian and then let's say like Big Mom or something. So I do find it very interesting that there is, you know, some sort of playability that can happen and some changes to the deck, maybe either now or for the future of the game. But my opponent starts off pretty hot here again with the Ohm Holly combo. I'm going to go up to 5 Dawn. I can get my Kuzan down if I'd like to, but I decided to go for a Sabo here. Sabo is great, but I do end up getting rid of a Jack as well as a Kuzan. So Jack, obviously I really probably only need 1, but sometimes with how good that card is, having 2 is pretty solid. I think that just not playing Kuzan was a bit of a mistake here, because I have Brook on the board already. I have an Ice Age in hand. I would have Jack the following turn, so I actually kind of liked the idea of playing Kuzan, but I guess I was just thinking of maybe playing a little more defensively and also just having, you know, Sabo as an attacker the following turn. So we see a 5 here from Holly. I can just block this really fast. And now for Dawn, my opponent does have like 6 Dawn available though. So this leaves, you know, the possibility that my opponent plays out the 6 cost Kalgara here. He does go into the Sabo, and that was my bad. I thought that he was going into life where he pointed, but he plays out Wiper instead. So no stage to be trashed there and to get a little surge, but still developing a 7k body is always pretty scary. I have the ability to do Jack this turn and use Ice Age with Brook, so I'm gonna get at least 2 cards off the board guaranteed. I just don't know whether I want to use the Ice Age or if I just want to attach one to lead. So I do decide to, I think, go that route where I'm just going to play down Jack, remove Holly, and try and swing 7 into his Ohm. It leaves Wiper up, but with us being at 4 life, I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty comfortable. And I've got Kuzan for the following turn as well. Am I about to swing too early? Oh, no. Oh, no, I hate it. What am I doing? Oh, maybe I guess I'm going Sanji. I guess I'm actually going Sanji instead of Jack here. I guess that's fair. That's fair. Allows me to get rid of Wiper, and I can get rid of the Ohm as well. Unfortunately, I just don't have that extra Dawn. I think if I was going, if I go this route, I did have to have the 1 Dawn on my leader in order to get the Sanji effect off. So I don't hate it, but I think just establishing Jack would have been better for us here. It still would have left him, I guess it still would have left him Ohm and leader to potentially swing into Jack. So I guess maybe I just wanted to try and play a little more, like have Jack for like a little more of a incremental turn. And I mean, this could technically be it with him dropping the 6 cost Kalgara here. And now we also have the Ohm coming at life as well. Potentially a bunch of Shura swings. I mean, because he's got a whole bunch of Dawn. He is going to swing the 5, though. I do decide to take this one. And now between the 2 Shuras, or if he plays rush cards, like I know some players use the Rush Ace. I've seen Rush Anel as well. I think that Mont Blanc would be really nice for him here, but if he hasn't played it by now, I would imagine he hasn't seen it. The card is just super necessary for this deck to stay healthy, but also, you know, stay in the game. I think he's got, what, 8 Dawn to work with, too. Yeah, I think we're just doing a 6-6, or maybe this is just a 5, excuse me. I think it's just a 5-6. So I will counter out of the first one, and then it looks as though the other 4 is just going to get attached. No, just 3, yeah. 3 on Shura. I'm debating whether I should be going down at 2 life here or not. If I do counter, I unfortunately am losing out on the, excuse me, if I do counter, I have like no counter power in hand, and then I'm just kind of praying that Jack does something. But with Ice Age Jack or Ice Age Moria here, we've got some combinations to get rid of Kalgara. I don't have Rebecca in trash, though, unfortunately, to get like a little bit of defense and removal against the Kalgara. So Jack might be better just for me to cycle my hand just a little bit. He does counter out of this Ohm pretty quickly, so I like this. I am just going to play down Jack and swing 7 into the Holy. He gives me a 0 cost event, though, to get out of that. And I go ahead and Ice Age and tap. And now I can just drop the Kuzan and pass it back over. But even though we are a 6k lead, my opponent does have me in a bit of a, position that I'm getting slightly worried not having any blockers. But if I can draw into a Rebecca, I think we're in a super comfortable spot. He shouldn't be able to get through some of those attacks or some of the defense with Rebecca and like a Sabo play in 1 turn. But he plays down another 6 cost Kalgara, and geez, takes his life, going down to 1. I mean, I guess that's pretty much just how this deck has to play. Is, you know, you're just kind of ramping, you know, the board whilst, you know, taking this damage. But very aggressive list. He's swinging low numbers each time. Maybe because he knows that I have been a little hesitant to counter out of some of these attacks. I've only got 3 cards in hand, so I'll give him another 1k with the Brook, but I just want to keep these cards on board for the swings for the next turn. And now he's going to give me a 7k swing, and unfortunately for him, I have that 2k in hand, and I think that's just going to allow me to get there as we have the 2k T-Bone. I think we draw into another T-Bone here, and yeah, now he's just staring down multiple swings. Pretty scary. He gives me, I believe, a 1-cost event to get out of that, and he only has like 2 cards in hand. So I believe with some quick math, I can just swing 9 and then the rest onto Sanji. But this was a little bit of an awkward turn because I did hesitate a little bit on deciding what numbers to swing, because I knew I don't know exactly what triggers Kalgara runs, you know, for yellow. And I thought, oh shoot, what if Sanji dies here? I think I just lose the game, right? But I did have, you know, the potential, and we go over this. I was thinking of doing 9 and then the rest on Jack, but I had Moria as a potential play. So I could have maybe drawn a card that I really needed. And so that's why I just went 9 with Jack first. And, you know, Moria could have maybe got me there if I needed. I could have also done like a Suru Brook to try and remove, you know, one of his swings. But yeah, it was a little bit awkward at the very end, but we ended up taking game 2 as well. I really like this deck, and Kalgara is honestly like really interesting how it plays out, but I feel like it's just super reliant on seeing that Mont Blanc, the 5-cost heal, and it's not searchable, so that's just what makes the deck like, ugh, you know, a little rough around the edges, if you will. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.